Hi guys, Everything NFL here, and today I am back with a brand new video going over my top 5 wide receivers in the NFL right now. And quickly before we get into the video, I want to thank you guys so much for all the support on the channel. Currently standing at 44 subscribers, on the road to 50. Hopefully you guys can keep it up and take the time out of your day and go down and subscribe. Also like the video and turn on notifications. Without much more messing about, let's get right into it. We're going to start off with some honourable mentions quickly before we get into the top 5 list. Starting off the honourable mentions, we have Adam Thielen of the Minnesota Vikings, fantastic player, just not a top 5. Stephon Diggs for the Buffalo Bills, once again, fantastic player, but just not top 5. Odell Beckham, one of the best in the NFL when he is fully healthy and he's more focused on playing football than his ego, than like brushing his ego. And also next up we have Tyreek Hill, fantastic weapon for Mahomes and the Chiefs, pivotal piece of them winning Super Bowl 54 last year. Then we have Keenan Allen for the Los Angeles Chargers, consistent Pro Bowl wide receiver, one of the best in the NFL. And of course, Mike Evans, the Texas A&M beast playing for Tampa Bay. And now, without much more messing about, let's get into the actual top 5 list. At number 5, we have Chris Godwin for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Enjoyed a breakout season alongside stud wideout Mike Evans, who we just talked about. He makes a strong case for a top 5 spot. I just think Godwin is better than Evans, and enjoyed a better 2019 season too. He had 1,300 receiving yards last season, and with Jameis Winston under centre, and I cannot wait to see how he does as one of Tom Brady's top weapons, with Tom Brady under centre instead of Jameis Winston. I think if the Buccaneers are going all in on a Super Bowl over the next 2 years with Tom Brady, Chris Godwin is going to be one of the most pivotal pieces on the entire team as they try and push and get a Lombardi trophy back down to Tampa, Florida. The speed, hand skills, awareness, everything that he brings to the table, the former Penn State product, is out of this world. And I cannot wait to see what he does in Bruce Arians' offense again in 2020 and for the multiple years going forward. So he's still very young. I believe he's only 25, so he's still extremely young. But I think he's a fantastic wide receiver and one of the best in the NFL. Now, moving on to number 4, we have Devante Adams, wide receiver for the Green Bay Packers. He's been Aaron Rodgers' number 1 and only consistent pass catcher, really, for the last few years. He has an incredible ability to create separation. There's loads of videos online about how good he gets his separation from the opposing corner. It's just absolutely insane. He uses it to get open downfield and create huge chunks of yardage. It seems like Adams gets better in each and every season. I cannot wait to see how he does with Green Bay in 2020, and even with 26th overall selection in the 2020 NFL Draft, quarterback out of Utah State, Jordan Love. He isn't going to play for the next few years, but I think Jordan Love is going to be Devante Adams is going to help Jordan Love progress and grow as a wide receiver so much and a lot more than people actually think. I think a few years down the line, I still think now, actually, he's the 4th best in the NFL, clearly, but he's behind, everyone knows the consensus top 3, but I've changed the order a bit to how I think it is, but I think what an incredible player Devante has become. He's an absolute pleasure to watch week in, week out. I actually happened to watch a lot of Green Bay's games last season because Aaron Rodgers is one of my favourite players. And I think it's fantastic how Devante Adams, because he started off a bit slow in Green Bay and then he put it on and said, I'm going to work myself out. I'm not going to be one of these in and out wide receivers, in and out the door. And now look how good he has become. He is now one of the best wide receivers in the game. And at number 3, this is where the debate's going to begin and where some of you guys might get a bit salty at my opinion. But here we go. At number 3, we have Michael Thomas for the New Orleans Saints, one of the most dynamic slot receivers in the NFL. He's not a boundary receiver. He can't play out wide as well as any of the others on this list. He's a slot receiver, which is simply why he is at number 3. He's one of the most dynamic slot receivers the NFL has ever seen. Can't guard Mike is the freak of nature when he gets the ball in his hand, showing fantastic speed and ability to get open. He's been fantastic for New Orleans and has been Drew Brees' number 1 weapon ever since entering the league in 2016 and was selected 48th overall out of Ohio State in the 2nd round. He makes a great case for being number 1, but I would like to see him do it again and consistently and be more of a boundary receiver than just a slot guy. And if the Saints are to make a push for one last Lombardi trophy for future Hall of Famer Drew Brees. This is the year to do it, and Thomas will be a pivotal part and a vital part of the team if the Saints are to go all the way. And did we also forget to mention, he broke the record for most consecutive receptions without an incompletion in a single season with 149 receptions. Wow, I cannot believe how well he did. But now let's get on to number 2. At number 2, we have Julio Jones for the Atlanta Falcons. Could easily have been number 1 and is undoubtedly the best receiver the NFL has seen over the last decade, and arguably the most physically gifted wide receiver in NFL history. He's an absolute pleasure to watch, even at the age of 31 now. He is still an absolute monster on the field. He's been a mainstay on that Atlanta offense with Matt Ryan ever since he was drafted 6th overall in 2011. He has the size, speed, fantastic catching ability, eyes and awareness for the game. Everything you want in a wide receiver, Julio Jones has it. He could easily be number 1 on the list, but I just don't think he's as good as number 1. The 7-time Pro Bowler still has a lot left in the tank, I believe, and I'm sure we will see him shredding opposing defenses for at least the next 4 to 5 years. He will also be a pivotal piece as the Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl window is closing very, very quickly, and if the Falcons want to push on and get that elusive Lombardi trophy, they have to do it soon and within the next 4 or 5 years of Julio's career, because Julio is an irreplaceable player like the Detroit Lions did with Calvin Johnson. Houston Texans, obviously, they got another player, and then Andre Johnson, they failed to replace him almost instantly. But moving on to number 1, the best wide receiver in the NFL, in my opinion, and it's a very clear number 1 for me. It is DeAndre Hopkins, the wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals. I have had the pleasure of watching this guy play live, actually, in the stadium at Wembley. It was incredible. But DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion, is an absolute level above every single wideout in the NFL today. And I think he has every aspect you want when it comes to the perfect wide receiver. He posts over 1,000 yards every single season with high touchdowns too. A greatly consistent level of play. Out of this world skill set, great football IQ, a knack for creating separation, keeping the feet in bounds. But the thing is, where he lacks in speed, he makes up for in other areas. That's just how good he is. He's been traded from the Houston Texans to the Arizona Cardinals, with Texans he'd spent his whole career with up until this point. It was a mind-boggling trade and was one of the most lopsided trades in NFL history, and the Arizona Cardinals picked themselves up a bona fide number 1 receiver for Kyler Murray in 2020. Hopkins is in his prime. Where he is now is the best he's ever going to be, and I'm expecting big things from Arizona and Hopkins from years and years to come. I think Nuke Hopkins is the best, and if you guys have a different opinion, feel free to let me know in the comments. I will reply to every single comment because I read all of them. And also, don't forget to go down there and subscribe, and also like the video and turn on notifications so you never ever miss an upload. I really appreciate the time out of your day if you've made it to the end of the video, and I'll be back Friday with a brand new video. See you later, guys.